Hello everyone, Yugioh for the win here, and welcome back to another Duel Links video, where today we're going to be taking a look at the Madolche deck. This is a version I have built. It's okay. There are some glaring issues with the deck in its current form, just based upon the limited card pool we have. And we'll talk about that in here in a second, but let's first go over the cards we have. So as you can see, this is a basic deck layout. So we start off with two Madolche Puddingsis. Puddingsis is pretty much the boss monster of the deck, I would say. The problem is, she is a level 5, so she has a tribute. And tributing monsters doesn't really work well with Madolches, because Madolches rely on not having any monsters in the graveyard, and so all the Madolche cards, they have this effect. All the Madolche monsters, that if they're destroyed by battle or card effect by your opponent, and they're sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle the card into the deck. Sounds bad at first, but there are there is at least one way around this. So that's the Madolche effect. So each Madolche monster has this Madolche effect, so we don't have to go over it every time. But they each have their own special effect as well. So Puddingsis, when there are no monsters in the graveyard, she gains 800 attack and defense. And then after damage calculation, when this card battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy a card that your opponent controls. So as you can see up top, we have Holy Guard. I didn't really know what other kind of skill to put with this deck, because it doesn't really need beatdown, because it's not a guaranteed chance that you're going to have Puddingsis on board, and with the changes coming to beatdown, I'm not sure if it's going to really help out in the long run, because this deck does get actually kind of beefy when the monsters are on board. And the reason I'm playing 2 Puddingsis is mostly because I only have 2, but I'm not sure if running 3 would really help that much, to be honest. So 2 Puddingsis. Now I have 1 Messengelado in here. It's mostly just to have another monster, and he can come in handy if you have the cat that we're going to go over later. So when he is special summoned, you can add a Madolche Spell Trap from deck to hand, but you have to control a face-up beast type Madolche monster to do that, which I think is one of the issues with the card pool for Madolches currently, is there aren't a lot of very playable beast Madolches yet. I believe Hoot Cake is probably the best possible thing we could get for the deck, but until then, we don't have it. So, but 1 Messengelado. Now the next 2 we have 3Ls, because I think they are the better cards in the deck. So we have a Madolche Chevalier. This one is like like Dinah, in the sense that you can only attack Chevalier when it's on board. It's not like Marauding Captain, where if you have 2, they kind of offset, and like you can't attack in general, because it does say they can only target Chevalier. So if you have 2 Chevalier on board, they can still attack the Chevalier. But he does have 1700 attack. The field spell does give attack, so that's why these monsters get a little beefier, and we'll go over that in a little bit. But he's kind of the main beater of the deck. And then we have the only beast one we do play, and that's Mewfuel, or whatever. And the reason we play this one is when it is normal summoned, you can special summon a Madolche from your hand. So that comes in real handy if you have a Puddingsis in hand or a Chevalier and you just need monsters on board. So it's really good for that. So next we go on to the spells. This first one here, Chateau, is the field spell. So when it is activated, if you do have Madolche monsters in your graveyard by some chance, you can shuffle all those into the deck. All Madolche monsters on the field gain 500 attack and defense. And instead of, like, if a Madolche monster would be sent back to deck, instead of sending it back to your deck, you can just add it to your hand. So that becomes really helpful in keeping your deck clear of recycling and drawing the same cards that you might not need, and also making sure you do have monsters in hand. And then the other spell we play is Ticket, and Ticket is good because when a monster is sent from the graveyard to your hand or deck, you can add a Madolche monster to your hand from your deck. So, and if you control Pudding Sis, basically, you can special summon that monster instead. So it's really the only way to search any monster in the deck, which is really good. It is kind of slow, though, is the only problem. If I had to bump anything, I would probably bump this up, but I worry about doing that because the ratio of monsters to back row right now is a little heavier on the back row side. So it is what it is. So onto the traps, we do have 2 Wall of Disruption to just kind of help with some of the smaller monsters to try to just disrupt the opponent enough to start gaining some more advantage. And then we have these next 2 Madolche traps. This one is Madolche Knights. When a monster effect is activated, you can negate it as long as you have no monsters in your graveyard. And if you control Pudding Sis, you can shuffle a random card in your opponent's hand into the deck. And then we have T-Break, which is the same thing mostly. It negates a spell or trap, but when you do negate it, you return it to the hand. And if you control Pudding Sis, you can destroy a card your opponent controls. So the biggest issue with these 2 negation cards is that they don't destroy the card that it does negate, so they still get to keep their card on board. So you're going to -1 technically. It doesn't really help with card advantage at all. It just kind of disrupts enough to be a nuisance, but it doesn't help you establish a better board presence than your opponent, which is a little on the downside. The only way this is kind of a trade is on T-Break, when you can destroy a card, but it's only if you have Pudding Sis on the field. So like I said, this deck is kind of it's very meh. When it works pretty good, but when it doesn't work, it falls flat on its face. So hopefully you'll see this. We are using Taya, obviously, because of Holy Guard. We did get out of Silver like we were in for the Mega Phantom Beast video. Hopefully I have that deck profile up before this one. I will probably try to prioritize a little better, but we're just gonna jump on in here. We're gonna do a few duels just to kind of see what the strategy is about. So like I said, we mostly want to keep our monsters out of our graveyard, which is really helpful since all the monsters have the effect that they can keep themselves out of the graveyard. So a good opening hand generally looks like a Muful and either a Chevalier or a Pudding Sis. And obviously we want the field spell and or Ticket. So, but these are the things that we need. Land of the Ajamas. Oh boy, this is going to be a fun one, guys. Alright, so this is actually a decent hand. We do have the Pudding Sis, but unfortunately Homeboy started out even better with Ojama Knight. This is going to be a tough one because I don't know if we can really... We don't really have another way to get rid of this Ojama until we draw our Wall of Disruption. And, I mean, this is just how it goes. Like, there's not really much of anything we could have done there. We do get to keep this guy out of the graveyard, but this is going to become a problem when we have too many cards in our hands, because then we'll have to discard the monsters. What we could do, though, is once we start getting too many monsters in hand, we can just we can keep them. We don't have to activate Chateau's effect, I guess. We could just put him back in the deck, which would keep us from decking out. But we'll see what happens. it will keep us from drawing any decent cards that we may need. But this might be just the stall strategy we have to go for until we draw our Wall of Disruption, and we can start to gain a little bit more momentum. As long as, well, he can't really do anything. I was going to say, as long as he doesn't fusion summon another one, well, we have no monsters. But we should be able to always keep a monster on board. Okay, so we have T-Break. We're going to go ahead and set that. And we're just going to have to keep blocking. I mean, that's really all we can do. Yeah, so you can add it to your hand instead, so it's not mandatory. So that'll help later on. So we definitely need to get rid of this knight. As long as Homeboy decides he wants to make a move. He's probably a little scared to attack now. Oh, cool. Another polarization. I mean, I don't really know what else he's going to do. Although I probably should have stopped that, because he's probably going to summon another one. Yeah, now he's... Interesting. Well, now we have both zones locked down, and... now we have two monsters here that can kind of ruin our day. Let's see. This is not good. I didn't think about that. That's my fault. Totally. I didn't even think about him getting another monster on board. Oh well. This is probably going to be a long game anyway, so... no. There's no point, we lose here. Alright. Yeah, that was a misplay on my part. I apologize for that. But like I said, that was just kind of unlucky on our part, lucky on his part. Because he opened up, he's able to lock down two of our board spots. It is what it is. Not much you can do unless you have the outs soon. We probably could have played through it a little better. Obviously, we could have not misplayed. That would have helped a lot. But we did, so. Now we just gotta hope we can open up that well again. Because, I mean, that was a decent starting hand. It really was. Start out with the field spell. Start out with two Mewfools and a Pudding Sis. It's a decent starting hand. Alright. We got a Kaiba boy here. Probably going to be playing dragons. If we open well enough, we probably have a decent... we can set up a decent board, okay. Hey, look at that! The only problem I see with this is we don't have the field spell. And I'm actually going to go ahead and grab the Chevalier because I kind of want to protect the Mewfool right now. Just get some monsters on board. Now he will probably be able to... He's probably got a Vanguard. That's usually how dragon people open. They have a Vanguard in hand. We'll just beef up his attack a bit. Now if we can draw the field spell, that'd be nice. Alright, or that Luster Dragon. This is a very rare occurrence, drawing this many monsters. Yeah, he's gonna go back to the deck. We'll probably draw him again. Oh, another Pudding Sis, great. Oh boy. We're just gonna have to normal summon this. This is not a good play at all. I do have Holy Guard, so I'm not going to take damage from this. I just need to kind of... need to get rid of his monster here. And he's probably got a Wall of Disruption. So we will go ahead and destroy his Lister Dragon. She will go back to the deck. Might as well get some damage off while we can. Just a pitiful little 500 damage. So if we do draw the field spell, it'll be nice because we contribute Pudding Sis and then activate the field spell to shuffle it back. Oh, Armed Dragon! Awesome! Great. The only problem with this is there's a good chance we won't draw the field spell just because our cards are going back into our deck. So this is part of the problem with Madolche's, and there we go. I mean, I can't really do anything here, so I do fear something. He's got something on the back row. If he's got another monster in hand, he probably wins. That's all I need. Yeah, he wins. Yeah, like I said, when this deck doesn't work, it falls pretty flat. I probably could have sacrificed the Pudding Sis again, but we're just losing so many cards. We're just kind of rolling downhill, sliding face first. So it is what it is. Is there anything that can get us out of this? I don't think so. If we drew the field spell, that would help. But it also depends on his back row. And I feel like his back row is probably pretty hefty. Messenger Lotto. Yikes. I mean, we'll do the darn thing for no reason. We will grab. It doesn't really matter. We'll go ahead and grab the Madolche Knights here. We lose either way, so it doesn't really matter. Actually, well, I'm gonna save myself some life points in case he does decide he wants to activate Armed Dragon's effect. We will be prepared for that. Kunai with Chain. Alright. So you're going to switch. Okay, that's fine. It's even better. Yeah, so the other two Beast Madolches, they don't really do anything. They don't do anything all that well. I'm Dragon level 10. Alright. So we will negate this. But for what reason? I don't know. Just delaying the inevitable. So the other two we have are Chocolates and Cruficent, I believe. Oh, he can still activate it. Oh, that's cool. That's auto once per turn. Alright. Well then, that's fun. Nice and boss monsters. I'm hoping we can get at least one duel in where Madolches aren't going to play like a pile of garbage. I think a lot of people are upset with that this deck isn't good, because Madolches, I think they were pretty popular back in their heyday in the TCG. But their actual boss monster is an Xyz monster, so we're probably not going to get that for a very long time. It's just how it goes, unfortunately. But we'll see if we can eke out a win. Man, sucks. We lost to a 29 card deck. Sheesh. He had that kunai with chain though, so if we would have pudding cyst, if we would have Mewfold into pudding cyst to try to attack his armed dragon level 3, he still would have kunai'd us. So it doesn't really matter. We are in gold, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. So we do have the beat stick. So that's something, I guess. Curious what this guy's playing. 30 cards. It's probably a man-eater bug. Wall of disruption. Wouldn't doubt it. Alright, so that's good. We have ticket. Now this is another problem with the deck. Is it's very susceptible to straight flush. I'll go ahead and activate this, and I will set knights because I'm more afraid of a monster effect. We'll go ahead and attack that. Oh, he's actually playing Crystal Beast. It's Jesse. All right, so we're gonna get Rainbow Dragoned. Cool. That's what I want to see. All right. So, in essence of not getting straight flush, because we are in gold, and people probably play straight flush. Oh, Crystal Raigeki. Alright, what are you going to destroy? You're going to destroy my Chevalier? If so, that's fine, because it means I get to search. Cool. I will Chateau, and then I will Ticket. I think I'm going to grab Mewful. Just to have some monsters on board. And if he does summon a monster, Topaz Tiger, I don't... Does his effect activate? I don't think it does. No. It's only when it battles a monster. Alright, so we're going to draw a Wall of Disruption. We will summon the Mewful. And we are going to special the Chevalier. So this is how the deck should work. I do think that the deck suffers from not only the limited card pool, but also not having a lot of monster zones. Because I think this deck would probably do a little better with more monster zones. But I think its ceiling is pretty low until they get some better Madolche beasts in here. We do have Butlerisk as well, but he's not... I forget what he does. He searches a field spell, I believe. I think he's a field spell searcher. But you have to control Pudding Sis to get it. I'll get rid of Carbuncle, because Carbuncle will do shenanigans if it's specialed. Alright, so unless he's got Sphere Karibo, we should win. Which is good. Alright, sweet. So we did actually win. We didn't need Pudding Sis. Like I said, with the field spell, this deck can get beefy. Most of the monsters will get over 2,000 attack, which is pretty good. Like I said, the only real problems with the deck are... It's kind of slow and it doesn't really do much, and it doesn't really gain much advantage. When it has momentum, it keeps momentum pretty decently. We'll go in one more duel. Maybe we can eke out another win. Go even here. But I feel like this deck suffers mostly because of the limited card pool right now. We'll probably definitely see more Madolche stuff in the future. Definitely when Xyz monsters actually come into the game. Definitely for sure. I don't really know what other cards they do have. I'm sure they have some other broken stuff. Oh good. Taya. This is probably an Amazon deck. Holy Guard. She doesn't have Holy Guard though. Oh, Bujin deck. Interesting. So we do have the Mewful. We'll go ahead and summon Pudding Sis, just because. And we will set these since we do have Pudding Sis. If he does try to activate anything, we can do some stuff. So if he tries to activate a spell trap, we can destroy his Mikazuchi here. He's going to set a card. You got an equip spell? No, he's going for damage, which is fine. We draw the field spell, this will be nice. Oh, but of course. But this is fine because we can actually do something here. We can actually take Pudding Sis and destroy his face down. And we can use Pudding Sis's effect to destroy Mikazuchi to clear his board. So, not bad. What's he do? Special summon in attack position. Yeah, we'll shuffle a card into your hand. In your hand, back into your deck. I'm okay with that. Haha. So like I said, it's more disruptive. It's really helpful with... He's got Sphere Karibo. Oh, he's got regular Karibo. He's going to save himself the 1700, but he will take the 500. If you control Pudding Sis, these negates are a lot better, but they're still very meh, in my opinion. Is he going to set a back row? He is not. Another Mewful, cool. There's nothing to destroy, so great. Oh, dang it! I should have attacked with Pudding Sis. I'm not used to having no battle damage on my turn. I'm an idiot, I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, a tribute summon! Cool! When it's destroyed by a card effect, we lose. So... Okay. This is interesting. Because if we destroy it by card effect, we lose. I think we're just gonna have to wait it out. Man, it's a... I'm sorry I misplay so much. Maybe if I actually play this game more, I'd be better. What is he doing? What is this Phantom Beast Bujin nonsense? I don't understand this deck. Yeah, I'm gonna put myself out of my misery here. Yeah. Alright. So, verdict is Madolches are bad. It doesn't help that I'm bad as well. So, I tested a couple versions of this deck, and I do feel like this is a decent build for them. There's probably absolutely better different builds out there, but this is just what I came up with. I felt it was decent. I don't really know what other skills you could use. The Holy Guard's really just for a niche use. But let me know what you guys think. What are you guys running if you're running Madolches? Do you think there are some better tech cards we could play in here? just let me know in the comments. Go ahead and subscribe. Let me know what other kind of decks you want to see, and I'll try to build them to the worst of my ability. But thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.